So here we are in the second day of the InvestCuffs conference, and we're here in the lovely town of Krakow. I'm joined by my guest, Zoltan Chiba, from the company Finax. And Zoltan, is this your first time to Krakow?
Hello everyone. No, actually this is my second time, and we were visiting before privately, like with my family, and it was an amazing trip. Pretty much like this town, as well as Warsaw, where we headed here from Warsaw. So, well,
fantastic.
Much enjoying it here. Thank
Happy
you.
to have you here today. Thank you very much. I wanted to start off by talking about you're the head of international expansion for the company Finax. And could you tell us a little bit about you and your role, maybe how you got into this role of international expansion as the international guy, the globetrotter for the company, and a little bit about Finax also, so we know about the business.
Okay, so how I would describe our company in a nutshell. We are an online investment and advisory platform utilizing all the digitalization and all the cons of robo-advisory. First, we advise our clients to get onboarded with strategies, with portfolios, with managed portfolios, suited directly to their needs, to their risk profiles, and we aim to do it as globally as it is possible. So that's where it connects with
that's the vision.
Vision, yes, with the scalability of the product. And we are originally a Slovak company, supervised by the Slovak National Bank, and recently, since last year, since 1st of April last year, and it's not a joke, it's a real stuff. We already opened our branch, OGL, here in Warsaw, in Polska.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so you're in Poland as well.
Yes, and I'm pretty happy to come back here every time I have the chance.
Fantastic. Yeah, Poland is a lovely place, especially in the springtime when the sun is shining. Indeed. And how did you get started in this role? How did it come that you started to work? Because you are Hungarian. So how did you start to work for this Slovakian company, and specifically in business expansion, business development?
You won't believe, but it's connected to the point that I'm Hungarian, and that reaches back to my initial job, which I kicked off even as a student. So I'm in the financial field for more than 15 years. But back in the days, one local brokerage, Slovak brokerage company, was looking for a Hungarian-speaking, cost-efficient labor force, let's say. And I joined my initiative, where I met up with our recent CEO. He was a compliance officer there, and it was the typical brokerage business. We did know how it works with high fees, but in fact, we didn't really could recommend that kind of product to our closest ones, I would say. After I did a little turn, and I spent a couple of years abroad, but when Juraj Herbati, our CEO, came up with the idea, you won't believe, he was sharing something on the LinkedIn, I was liking it, and that was the way back towards him and towards Finax. I pretty much loved the idea, and he didn't have to persuade me for so long. Our story started in 2018, back in the day in Slovakia, having our office seated for 25 people up to. We were sitting in the middle and thinking how we will fulfill the capacities. Nowadays we are arranging our move because there's already more than 50 of us in the company.
Great.
And our goal was to democratize investing, to bring this easy to consume product, digitalize it as much as it is possible, and make it available for the wide masses. So it's like a B2C delivery model for the mass retail for each and every regular person.
Excellent.
Within our region.
Now, zooming in on the international expansion part, because that's what you manage. Could you talk a little bit about the strategy, maybe a little bit where you've come from, what countries you now operate in, and then what is the vision and strategy to grow from there?
Okay, we are quite strong in Slovakia in content, what we are aim to replicate as well in other countries. The importance is on the education, because people have such bad experiences with financial companies from the past, or the level of the financial literacy, not only in Slovakia but in each and every country where we are present, which are now the V4 states, so it's Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Hungary and Croatia, which is a little bit of a funny story because somehow we wanted to be be in the V4 states. That's we considered as our local playground, and we didn't know a very good person fitting to the role kicking off Croatia. And after a couple of years. Like 2 years and something, it turned out Croatia is our second best performing foreign market. So
that's the way it happens sometimes, isn't
sometimes,
it?
yes.
Try new things.
But for sure, we have a much more sophisticated approach towards, and as we are growing, we are not that little startup anymore. When I was mentioning 2018 in April, when we gained some clients and they were not friends and family, we were clapping our hands like, yes, they're clients. The first year we ended up, I think, with 3 million AUM, so 3 million euros assets under management. And by the time nowadays it's like almost 50,000 clients, and we manage 400 millions in euros. So obviously we are scaling up, and we need to consider seriously the next steps. So we have, you won't believe, a sophisticated and huge Excel spreadsheet where we first map all the macroeconomics, all the potential which the particular country could bring, and we localize. In each and every country, we localize the product, the approach, the content. So we try to get very close to people. We really feel like among this conference, most of the people here are clients or are investing via Dom Maklerski or those brokerage companies picking up their stocks, and for passive investing, that's ourselves, maybe a couple of other competitors who are already on the market are present, but even the statistics are showing, for example, if you take S&P Global statistics, that on the long run, 94% of the actively managed portfolios are not beating the market, and the market is what we are basically bringing thanks to these ETFs, you see. So even though it's totally logical and it makes sense, it's very hard to persuade people and gain their trust to think long term and to invest long term. But in particular, that's the reason why we are now considering, for example, local tax advantageous accounts. We have in all countries, for example in Slovakia, we do have a 1-year timestamp tax exempt. It means if you invest on the regular market, so on the regulated market, on the stock exchange, and you hold your position for longer than a year, you don't have the obligation to pay taxes from it. Only in Poland we don't have this instrument to attract our investors, our clients with this kind of product, but we hope it will be changing so soon as OIP is knocking on the door, and we trust, thanks to PEP, which is the Pan-European Pension Plans scheme, we could bring it to Poland as well. Right. Because taxes are often omitted part of the investment, but can significantly add up the income levels.
Of course. Great. I wanted to ask now, you talked about the success of the Croatian example when it ends up being your second best country from an operations perspective. I think there are a lot of startups that are out there and they don't exactly know how to expand internationally, right? You start with something and then how to take it abroad. Can you give some examples of some problems that you faced and challenges that you faced that other people could learn from, perhaps, and how you overcame those challenges?
Well, very good question. If I would need to think fast, I would say don't be hesitant to enroll with your MVP, with your minimum viable product, to test and taste the market, to see what the reactions are, and to scale it up, bring it up, polish it.
So maybe start small.
Start small, you're saying, yes, and taste that environment, not only on paper, but in practice. You're about to provide clients with investment service. One little story around it, and that's connected to Poland, which I really admit to pursue as our another success story, with the AUM and with the number of clients we do have here. But the beginning was that we had a colleague from Slovakia, a Polish-speaking guy. We did all the stuff with him, like the localization of the web page, the market research, opening up doors, so the business development activities as well. It's one challenge to find someone suitable for that role. So concerning the
people,
challenges.
the people issue,
The people
absolutely.
are the key, definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely. Oh, and I would like to take this opportunity for our Polish team that we could be talking here now, because that's
They
all
opened the doors.
open the doors and all the hardware behind, you know. But coming back to the topic, we started to open up those doors, and in Poland, the sphere of the financial bloggers is so saturated. Like, you have a lot of guys, you know, approaching the same topic from different angles, and it's very, very saturated, I would say. So we were knocking on the doors, looking under each and every stone to see where the opportunity might be hidden, might be available. And last year, when we were opening our branch, of course, we had a little event. We invited our bloggers, our cooperators, and team, wider team. And one of them, actually, one of the guys who's top 3 Polish financial bloggers, he was mentioning, like, Zoltan, you know, from the beginning, when we received that email, even with some mistakes in Polish, like Slovak words and things, we really thought you are a scam. And I was like, what, scam? But when we looked at your platform, we talked within each other with other bloggers, like, why would they invest so much money and so much energy building up such a sophisticated and easygoing platform? Yeah. And when we were there, we were so happy that we did not turn out to be a scam. Of course, we increased. We have our local country manager, Przemek Barankiewicz. We even yesterday were so proud of getting the second place, or second or third, because it wasn't shared, for the FinTech of the year of the last year.
Here at the conference.
Yeah. And the best investment product prize. So it's you know, it somehow turns out and shows all the efforts are paying off.
Sure. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
And one of the challenges that a lot of startups have when you face going abroad are the legal challenges. Do you also find the same thing? That different countries have different legal regiments and frameworks that you have to deal with?
Despite the fact we are one EU, like under this institution, the 27 states should have harmonized legal frameworks, and in a circumstance or in the sphere in the financial industry, which is the most regulated, where we have to act often more holier than the Pope himself. It's pretty challenging when you find some misharmonized legal frameworks. I would not name the country now, but well, it means a challenge, and then of course you can't beat those legal structures. You just try to adopt and maybe reshift your priorities, but there are some, and sometimes not obvious for the very first sight, I would say.
I wanted to ask about when you take your company to a new country, are there some, you talked about bloggers as like collaborations in the new country or part of the startup ecosystem. Is there some kind of formula that you have that you use as a recipe for entering a new country necessarily, or is every country totally different in the way you enter?
I think everyone has a secret recipe, but we learned very fast that our approach, like expanding from behind the table from Bratislava,
right.
It won't be the best. So each and every country has its specifics, even the customer behavior, you know, how fastly any nation, if I would need to generalize a little bit, could adapt to the trust level we really need. And as mentioned already, in financial world, it's quite hard to get, mainly if you are doing all the distribution online.
Sure.
That's our first step. So our recipe, or our key to the success, is the reflection of the situation, aiming to understand and address the local needs of the people, aiming to bring them the content which really is localized and fit to local circumstances. Imagine doing it for 5 markets or for 1+4 markets. That's a huge challenge, but this we consider as our unique approach and as our added value. You know, like there are some, let's say, even competitors who are aiming to compete with lower pricing or with other massive discounts. We stick to the quality of the service, and we would like to always bring something new, not only to Slovakia, Slovakia is a great environment to have it tested, to have it proven, but as well to abroad.
Okay. Maybe one last question. You said that you're in 5 countries now, and I understand it's a young company, so you have a lot to do in those 5 countries. But looking long term into the future, maybe it's with your tax beneficial type of a product. But how do you see the expansion long term? Where do you foresee going? Maybe not long term, but mid term.
Mid term. Okay. We would like to anyhow cope with our strategy. Provide that core product what we do have. This is the intelligent investing, passively managed portfolios, because we do see that in this, getting those results, getting those revenues what the market offers on average 8 to 10% on the long run.
Sure.
That makes the total sense. The rest is question of time and the compound interest.
Right.
We would like to bring it this year to Romania and Slovenia. And on longer term, that's indeed PEP, the Pan-European Pension Plan, which we expect to move us forward on a sense that it's a local, European Union-based product, which the particular states had to adopt, I think it was by 22nd of March last year. But step by step, there were some early adopters, such as Slovakia, Czech Republic, and there are some later adopters. But we are pretty sure we will be able to catch up with this, and this makes totally sense for us, because thanks to this product, a well-priced product, I would say, accessible to anyone, people could well manage their future well-being, in sense of not having the necessity to drop their incomes significantly when they are approaching pension.
Of course.
See, so that's what totally makes sense. That's in the best interest of the client, and
that's the goal of the whole platform, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I would like to wish you good luck with your international expansion, first of all starting in Central Europe, I understand, and then taking it even to the rest of Europe. Good luck with that, Zoltan. Thank you very much for your time today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.